Well, joining us now is Army veteran and Heritage Foundation VP for National Security and Foreign Policy, James Carafano. James, great to have you with us today. A rather odd history lesson from Vladimir Putin that culminates in what sounds like his designs on all of Ukraine. Your thoughts on his speech?
Well, clearly the crisis isn't over. Basically saying he accepts the independence of the breakaway regions, that's meaningless. They're already there. They're a wasteland. Putin's never going to give them back. Honestly, I'm not sure the Ukrainians want them back, other than that they're actually Ukrainian territory. So why would he go through all of this mess, 100,000 troops, by the way, none of them lined up with Donbass, just to do this? He could have just done this with a stroke of a pen. So it really suggests that this crisis is not over. And then what to make of the speech? Well, like everything, Putin still has lots of options on the table. He can continue to use the republics as an excuse for a wider conflict. He can launch that wider conflict. He can continue to try to see what he can squeeze out of Western concessions by threatening war. So I think for him, all options are still on the table.
James, is that the problem? I mean, it does seem like all options are on the table for Putin. He hasn't lost any options. He hasn't been constrained in the least throughout this. Now we hear about sanctions on the breakaway regions. Those would seem to hit Ukrainians potentially harder than anyone on the Russian side. Is the Biden administration simply giving Putin too much room to operate here?
Well, look, I think the sanctions are they're just blah, blah. I mean, they've never really been super relevant. You're sanctioning regions where nobody's doing business anyway. Big deal. The massive sanctions that you're threatening Russia with are financial. I mean, they're still going to be able to sell oil. They can sell it to China. Oil, if there's a war, oil is going to be more valuable. The Russians will find other ways to do business. I mean, look at North Korea. It's the poorest country on the planet. They can build a world-class nuclear program and figure out a way to continue to do financing. So the Russians will suffer, but the Russians have been suffering for years now, and Putin still has ironclad control over all the security apparatus. So it does seem like he has lots of levers to pull. And to your point, I think it's been the problem with the U.S. strategy to begin with. It's very Obama-like. It's classic Biden. It's incremental. It's not really wanting to be involved in this. It's doing a little bit and a little bit more to the minimum we get away with. And what you're doing is the thing we would never do in the military, which is essentially let the other guy have choices and be reacting to his choices rather than trying to set the conditions. Let's just say that somehow we avoid an invasion here. First of all, it's not over because it's never about the Ukraine. It's about Putin reabsorbing these states, dictatorial control over Central Europe, dissolving NATO, pushing America out of Europe, making China happy. The crisis is going to continue. So it's never about that. The point is this administration doesn't have an answer for dealing with the issue. It's doing what it did in getting out of Afghanistan. It's trying to find ways to get it off the table.
So how do they flip this? Because I actually think a lot of people are apprehending this about this situation. It feels like they have no answer. We're always playing from behind. Putin holds all the cards. He obviously holds all the cards on energy. If the Biden administration was going to get ahead of this and stop letting Putin dictate the conditions, what would be step number one that you would be looking for right now?
Well, I think you have to make very clear there is no compromise. And the strongest way to make that is take your most severe, heaviest sanctions and just pummel them with now. Punish him for even threatening to invade. If he's going to invade, he's going to invade. The sanctions aren't going to stop him. Get ahead of the curve, punish him for that. And that sends a signal that you're but the most important thing is, look, there's only two reasons why we care about Putin. He's got a big army and he sells people lots of energy. If you take those two things off the table, regardless of what happens in Ukraine, Putin is checkmated. So this administration has got to rebuild strategic and conventional deterrence in Europe. The allies have to do their part. We have to do our part. America's got to be energy independent, has to be. And Europe has to have a plan for reliable, affordable, abundant energy. If you don't do those two things, we're just going to go back and play this game with Putin again, regardless of what happens.
Well, it's obvious that Europe doesn't have that plan. And the sad fact is in America, we're actually canceling pipelines and making it harder to build pipelines. So we're going in the wrong direction on that as well. But James, you're right. It's about conventional power and it's about energy. And until we see something on those two fronts, I don't think this situation changes. Always appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, my friend.